Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of The Tapestry. Hi everyone. Before we go around and say hello to everyone, please check out our social links. Here you can find our Twitter, Discord, and YouTube. YouTube where you can catch up, Twitter where you can get involved, send me a DM and I'll get you a game. And Discord, come and be a part of the community where we all talk about all of these shows, including this one. We have channels dedicated to each show. Also, please check out our sponsors, the Deck of Many, who made the Deck of Many things you may recognize. But also, please go and check out their Deck of Many animated spell cards. Cards which cast as you cast. They're really cool. Kayla had some on Monday, and we were all just like looking at her little cam like, ooh, so shiny. So shiny. Also, check out Mage Hand Press, our other sponsors. They create third-party content for D&D 5e, including Dark Matter, a space setting, which you can see played tomorrow at 1 p.m. Also, we have a tweet live. Go and retweet the tweet. Let everyone know where you are and what you're watching. Let's go around and say hello to everyone. Oh, hi, Renee.
Oh, hi. I'm Renee, and I will be your storyteller for the day. I have a bop back this week, so I'll be dancing for a little bit. But I'm here. I'm running Weave, which is a game I write for, and this today is actually a community playset written by Adam Smith. So I'm super excited about it, and I believe this is the first time it's been played on stream, so we're really looking forward to seeing how these characters are. I'm breaking it a little bit, obviously, because of how I'd structured this game, but I'm very excited to be introducing it to the world. So we'll go around real fast and everyone can introduce themselves. If you'll hold off on introducing your character, though, I will have us do that part narratively. So Matt, could you start us off, please?
Hi, I'm Matt. You can find me on Twitter at Matt Hoadley. I have a podcast called Hard Reboot that I do that is nominally monthly, but 2019's been a year, so not as much recently. And I have a stream channel that, due to some technical issues, did not get launched this week. It's going to be launched next week. It's going to be totally fine and awesome, and I'm doing that with Jordan Sanders, who's a cast member on this channel as well.
Yeah, next week. It'll be good. It'll be good. And thankfully the internet came back today in time for this stream, barely.
Heck yes.
So,
literally an hour before or something. Oh.
Yeah, seriously. Wild. Buck wild. Next up, Arcady, could you introduce yourself and tell us where to find you, please?
Sure. Hi, I'm Arcady. You can find me mostly on Twitter as Arcady Cosplay, because I'm primarily a cosplayer. I dress up as fictional characters in my free time. I occasionally game, but I consider myself a beginner, and I'm very bad at math, so I suspect I'll be a resident idiot who asks what 3 + 3 is.
No worries. Very minimal math in this game, so you won't actually have to worry about that. So long as you can count the number of dice that you rolled. You got 3 4s, you're good.
It's questionable sometimes. Sometimes the struggle is real.
Sometimes the struggle is real for all of us. We will support you anyway. And next up, Pumpkin.
Hello, I go by Pumpkin online. He, him. Don't really post much on Twitter. Don't really do anything else online. So, see me here, I guess.
Welcome to the online. With all that said, I'm Renee Rhodes. Like I said earlier, I have a Twitter. I do things like posts to the Twitter. I'm doing a dice giveaway sometime this week because I thank you for everyone who likes to listen to things I have to say or read things I have to say on the internet. And I do podcasts like Fate and the Fable Maidens and Edenfall, which Scrat has dropped links for already. And I do writing stuff, so you can find me on my website doing that and occasionally other places doing writing-y things as well. For streams, I'm mostly here. You can find me Mondays as Catchel on Tact and Diplomacy and here as Storyteller on Wednesdays with new folks every week. And I'm so loving it. Without further ado, let's hop into today's game. Marley.
Hello.
Wait, the happy music was a lie? What happened?
Oh, it wasn't a lie necessarily. You're just find yourselves currently surrounded by this blank staticky space. And it's not quite like the teal grid that you've been in before. This is way worse. Pee-wee, you are also surrounded currently by static, as if the glitch is everywhere in the walls around you and in the floor beneath you. There's no floor, it's a digital space, but that just shows how pervasive it is. It is in everything and on everything, and there is no other glowing orb around you.
Marley, do you see what I see?
Do you see an endless void of static badness?
You do see what I see.
Oh, good. I was really hoping I was just hallucinating.
I was kind of hoping it would be just a non-video game person thing.
Oh,
What do we do?
this seems bad.
Pick a direction?
I guess we'll just walk.
As you take a step, the whole world around you shifts, as if the static floor disappears and you are falling through it. For a moment, everything around you, you are literally falling. Things are moving. It's fast. It's bright. There are lights everywhere. Those colors, that blue, that purple, that orange, everything. And then all of a sudden it stops. And you find yourselves on an autumn day. There are trees around you. Cabins? Are those log cabins? Yes, they are. And you are at the entrance to a campsite. Above your heads hangs a wooden sign with Camp Zoinks carved into it. The sun is rising above the trees. Fall leaves are starting to collect on the ground. And there are a number of people running by inside the camp from cabin to cabin. Marley, can you tell us what you look like in this world?
So in this world, Marley is I would love it if you could all just soothe my heart and tell me all of you have seen Gravity Falls. Because I hope you have. And if you haven't, please fix that.
I've seen one episode and then it went off Hulu. Can't do.
Listen, Disney Plus is coming.
I know.
And since literally everything they've ever even looked at is on there, you'll be able to watch it. It was a great show. If you're familiar, and maybe if you're not, just do a quick Google. The character of Dipper Pines, except as a high school girl. Maybe just out of high school. Yeah, probably just out of high school. Tall, lanky. Her runner build is on display. She's got khaki shorts on. She's got a vest. She's got a t-shirt. She's got a baseball cap, and she looks profoundly uncomfortable with not having armor of some sort. Because the last two worlds have been pretty nice in that regard.
Marley, I've noticed you change clothes every time we shift to a different place.
I think it's because I'm a game character, Pee-wee. They just put me in an NPC spot, so I get dressed like them.
Look down at my default setting clothes. Mostly brown.
I feel like you're going to stick out a little bit more than normal this time.
Oh boy.
Sure enough, Pumpkin and Arcady, you are going about your day-to-day camp activities. And you notice two people sitting just outside the gate, looking a little bit confused. One of them looks like they could be a camper, but you haven't seen them at the camp before, and the other of them looks like they walked out of level 1 of a fantasy RPG, and you would know what that is. You are hip teens. But I would love to hear what your characters look like. Alice, could you describe a little bit about what Alice looks like and what her favorite camp activity is?
Alice is a little bit short, but thin, and has dirty blonde hair pulled up in pigtails, and it's dirty in multiple ways. It looks like it hasn't been washed in a little bit. She's definitely been roughing it out camping. She's got some dirty jorts on because she's very fashionable, and she's got a dirty flannel on, so she's a little bit feral looking. And her favorite camp activity is archery.
Very nice. And Frank, what does Frank look like, and what is Frank's favorite camp activity?
Frank, the first thing that jumps out about Frank is the amount of fox imagery upon him and his accessories. He's wearing a fox necklace, he's got a fox t-shirt on, cargo shorts, fox walking stick. Everything seems to be associated with foxes. And then
Do you actually have like fox ears and a tail, or is this like okay, just fox prints on your apparel?
yes.
Cool.
Yes.
It,
And then-
it merited asking.
But he is also meticulously well groomed.
Okay.
Obsessively so.
And what is
And-
Frank's favorite camp activity?
Most of the time, it seems like he's not at the activities. He tends to be off in the woods usually during the activity times.
Very good. Okay. The two of you are passing by, thankfully, between activities, and you see these two confused-looking people sitting on the ground.
I think we just should wander over and see
Yeah.
what these lost campers are doing, because they look a little bit lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. I'll walk over to Marley and say, "Hi guys, are you new campers? Have you been through registration yet?" Or, "Hi, I'm Alice."
Hi, Alice. Nice to meet you. I'm Pee-wee. This is Marley.
Hi, Pee-wee. Hi, Marley.
Oh,
I assume.
I'm Frank.
Go right ahead.
I'm Frank.
Meet you, Frank.
Hi. I assume we're new. Do I look familiar to y'all?
I've never seen you before.
Nope.
And I know every footprint in these woods.
Ah. Hey, Pee-wee. I don't think I took anyone's place this time.
And no one wears size 12. At all.
Marley leans way over next to Pee-wee and just goes, "What's a size 12?"
And Pee-wee looks at your feet for a second. Are they really big or really small?
They're small. They're runner feet.
It's a shoe size. Quite small by comparison to average.
Huh. Okay. Oh, I'm just glad to just be me and not someone else for once. This is great. And she's just kind of like flop onto her back and just stretch a little bit.
Are there any problems in the camp or any strange goings on? Alice?
Well,
The
Well-
moment you say that, Pee-wee, the four of you hear a growl from the woods behind you. Low, throaty, deep.
Marley just brings her hands up right onto her face and just goes, "No."
Can I make a roll to identify the animal that would make that noise?
You absolutely can. Yes, absolutely. Let's roll. Let's do this. Okay, so Frank is very much a Flames character, and there are 4 suits in Weave, each of which represents a specific type of strength. So Flames is mental strength, intelligence, and memory, and the like. So we'll do like a knowledge kind of roll here, and this is going to be a Flames challenge of 1. Now, to roll a Flames challenge of 1, you'll add your dice pool bonus to the base of 3, and I believe your bonus is pretty high in Flames.
Yeah. So that's 3 plus 7? Or 3 plus 4, so 7?
3 plus 4, so 7, yes. So you'll roll that many d6. Okay.
3?
Yes. You have 3 successes and 2 strikes. So the way this plays out, Frank, you know the sound of just about every animal in the woods. You know the sounds the birds make, the songs they sing every morning, and then as the campers go to sleep at night. You know the chittering of all of the animals that run through the brush. You even know the sounds that to animals that like no one knows the sounds of. You know what like bunnies sound like. You definitely know what the fox says. You don't know this sound. And that realization just sends the slightest chill through your spine. Could you mark 2 strikes at the top of your character sheet? You'll be keeping track of these. They are some sort of damage to your character. In this case, it's likely some sort of mental or social damage as you realize that this sound is no animal you know.
Okay.
Is there a break there, or?
What do the rest of you do?
I see Frank being confused, and I quickly sidestep behind Frank.
This animal has no business on this continent. Much less in a wooded region.
Continent? Continent, like world? Continent, Frank? That doesn't make sense, Frank.
No, nothing about this makes sense.
I look around for something to defend ourselves with.
Well, we've never been attacked inside the camp, so you're probably safe as long as you come in the gate.
Let's go in the gate.
Marley will hop up and start patting her pockets, hoping for anything that resembles a weapon. And she does not have one.
There's a
Well-
branch on the ground.
She picks that up immediately and just points it in the general direction of the woods and starts walking backwards towards the gate.
It's kind of twiggy, but it'll do, maybe.
Maybe.
Unless you count food fights as an attack. Those happen all the time. It's terrible and unsanitary and horrific, and it takes forever to clean. You don't want
Rules
one
of-
of those.
The rules of this game are very strange.
Do you think they know they're in a game?
Game?
Take that as a no.
This is
Oh
camp.
boy. Uh-oh.
So, what are the main activities of the camp?
there's basket weaving, and we have fire circles and sing-alongs and knot tying, and there's some archery and some canoes. I wouldn't recommend going swimming though. There's probably leeches in the lake, but you know, it's camp. It's camp.
Normally, I avoid the orchestrated activities and just go explore the woods myself.
Perhaps we could have a go at archery. That seems... Are we safe?
I don't.
Oh,
I mean,
the archery only targets bullseyes and other inanimate objects. Don't worry about that.
the
There
arrows
are no
tipped.
foxes here.
No,
There
I
are no
meant
foxes here.
now we're in the... Are we... Is the... I mean, like, what is this? Is this like a gated compound or something? Like, what have we got here? Are we...
Yeah,
I'm worried
so,
about the cat, or the growling noise.
Yeah, the cat. There's like a fence around the camp, but it's not like a super tall fence. It's not like it feels like you're trapped in. It just definitely borders the property. It's about, mid-height, easy to climb over, but all made of wood, planking, and there's kind of slats between them. But that runs around the property, and then at the front there is this like open gate where the actual camp name hangs on a sign above the entrance. Inside the fence are a number of log cabins. You count 7 of them. There's a mess hall off in the distance. You can kind of see the lake and docks, some of the canoes that Alice mentioned earlier. In the middle of this open clearing, though, in between all 7 cabins, there is a bonfire set up with a number of benches around it. The bonfire is not currently lit, but it is just a big pile of wood that could light tonight. Depends on the weather. Which is beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. Not a cloud in the sky. Blue. Sun starting to sink down.
So Pee-wee kind of looks a little bit out of place. Pee-wee's never seen a place like this before. And they just generally seem nervous.
In fairness, we've had a fairly traumatic couple of days.
I can't believe they let you in. They're very, very restrictive about who they let into this camp.
Very exclusive camp.
Like, they wouldn't even let me bring my fox.
What's your fox's name, Frank?
Well, he shares my last name, of course, Volpez, but his first name is Slygar.
How old is your fox?
Oh, he's about 3.
I've got
They
a
lived
bio.
up to the age of around 10 in captivity. Well, when being cared for by a loving parent like myself. In the wild, they tend to die around the age of 4. So, really, I'm doing them a favor.
Well, I'm really glad he has you then, because then he'll live to a ripe old age. Yeah.
Ideally, yes.
And that wasn't Slygar in the woods?
No. Slygar is a silver fox, originally bred by the Russians. I'm pretty sure for surveillance, because, Russians, right? But I've searched him, never found any camera, so I don't know.
You think the cameras would be genetic?
Well, what other breeding would they need them? What they need to do?
I'm at a loss. I don't know.
Marley is just staring at this conversation, just stripping twigs off of this stick, trying to make it more into a spear. Just like, there's no comprehension of what Russian is, what Fox is, what camera is. This is just, all right, we're doing this now. Good.
actually, natively, the red fox is far more compatible with humans, although excepting for the specifically bred silver fox.
So the silver fox is better than the red fox for human companionship. You can already tell Pee-wee's making mental notes in case there's a test later.
Well, the silver fox was bred from human-friendly, domestication-friendly red foxes. And in fact, there were some chemical changes in their brain chemistry, and that actually impacted their fur color too, which is why they're not red.
So, Alice, what do you do at camp? Do you also study foxes?
I do not study foxes. I mostly look at leaves, and I mostly do archery, and I don't like doing the sing-alongs. I'm not great with people, but I like archery and canoeing, and I almost drowned in the lake earlier. It was a little weird, but usually I'm a great swimmer. But yeah, I don't do foxes. That's Frank's thing.
So, drownings and forced singing. Is this a prisoner camp?
No, it's for fun. You pay to be here.
What?
Yeah, you come
Pee-wee.
for the summer, and you hang out with a lot of people, and there's limited showers, and you sleep on like really thin mattresses, and you learn about nature, and it makes you build character.
I'm pretty sure my parents just sent me here so that I can, socialize.
There's just a growing look of horror on Marley's face, and she just looks at Pew and just goes, "Is this normal?"
I don't know. I haven't experienced this before. Do all children in your country, place, come to this camp?
I mean, not all,
No,
and
it's
not
very
all
opposite.
to this one, but I mean, people do summer camps. It's kind of a teenage thing to do. You've never been to camp before? Why are you here then?
My game didn't have summer camp programmed in,
Oh.
or childhood, I don't think.
Oh.
How do you not
Did you-
have childhood?
Oh, see, I'm a quest-giving NPC in Everrealm.
An NPC.
Yes.
A what?
Have y'all seen really weird static anywhere?
No. Do you
No?
wanna come into the cabins and get like settled in?
Yeah. Yes.
regist-
Looking at Marley and nodding. Yes. Settled in.
Or registration. Like, that sounds important, right? Authority figures?
Yeah. Yes. Alice is like really relieved that just camp attracts the weirdos to begin with. So this is like the adequate level of social interaction that they're used to on a daily basis.
So it is getting close to the last activity of the day. Usually campers have signed up for things, anything usual. And Alice, you know that if these campers are going to get settled in, they'll have to do it quickly in time to make the next activity.
All right, so we're gonna rush you through the registration cabin. Then I assume that's nearby.
Yeah, cabin number 1, right up first place. It's also where the nurse's office is.
Oh, good. That'll be important.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hope not.
Nothing
It's
ominous
always
about
important to
Renee
know where
telling
the
us about
nurse's
that.
office is at camp. What if you get a boo-boo?
There's probably boo-boos. I mean, if we have an archery range, undoubtedly someone gets shot at least once a day.
Yeah, I have to visit the nurse's office to take my medicines every morning. So
It's true.
Yeah,
They
let's
don't
go.
let us keep track of them? Like, we're not responsible or something? Weird.
Yeah, us not responsible? I mean, come on. You raise foxes and I have twigs in my hair. I don't know why they don't trust us with things.
Right?
That almost sounds like a song.
Maybe we
There
can
have
make one and sing it at the
songs around
bonfire
that bonfire.
tonight.
Oh no, what have I started?
A sing along.
Oh god.
I think
Okay,
I'd rather be shot by arrows.
you have a point.
No, that's expressly forbidden at camp.
The
I think they had
drownings
some
then in the
hooligans
canoe.
a couple of days ago.
Huh.
Well, you're not supposed to do that, but they can't really stop you. So,
Okay, well, let's get registered then, I guess. Y'all don't ever, see anything weird in the sky or have people turn up with, like, strange lights above their head or anything like that?
well, there was a kestrel 2 days ago. We never get kestrels.
Marley, this is gonna be like the Matrix. It's gonna be terrible.
Oh boy. Oh boy. We're gonna have a good time here, Pee-wee. We're gonna have a good time.
That's the spirit. That's the point of summer camp, Marley. You're getting it now.
Hey, at least the food's good.
It's not that good.
Better than my cooking.
I guess lead on, Alice.
All right, now lead them to cabin number 1 and see what's in cabin number 1.
Yeah, the first thing when you get in there, there's not actually an NPC here or anyone running at Alice, but there is a clipboard and a pencil where you can write in your character name, and that's it. That's registration.
This is such a well-organized camp, you guys. Look at all this paperwork you have to fill out. If you just put your names down here, you're in. Really easy.
You also have to sign this waiver.
Yeah, just because of that archery thing and the canoes. I mean, you're
Yeah.
totally safe here, but just in case.
It's just a legal thing. It's not actually a concern. It's fine.
Marley will grab the clipboard and start writing her name on it. And when she passes it to Peely, she's just going to go, the graphics are great, but I don't think the devs ever finished a story here.
I would highly recommend reading the entire waiver. Most people don't, and that can get them into serious legal trouble if anything happens.
Do you agree to the terms?
I just sign it.
Yeah. Just click accept at the bottom of the EULA and roll on through to the game.
And do you put in your own names?
I put in my full code, PWS0013.
Perfect.
And Marley puts in Marley Farwind.
Seems legit. I mean, if it ain't broke.
What kind of names are those?
Mine?
Well, both of them. Never heard anything like them around here.
Mine is my...
PWS.
Mine,
As you write your
Go on.
as you write your name in, you begin to reskin. Can you tell us what your camper looks like?
Yes. They will have 3/4 length, like, tan, slack kind of things. They definitely have a, oh heck, what are they called internationally? fanny pack, bum bag, one of those things, around their waist, charcoal grey t-shirt, and grey plaid tartan shirt over the top. And a baseball cap.
Very good. Alice, Frank, you see this happen.
Is that
Most
one
people-
of the weird things that you mentioned happening? Because that was a weird thing that just happened.
He made his character.
His what?
I'm sorry,
That's a
I
character.
I swear this never happens.
No, it doesn't happen. So why did it happen this time?
Are y'all familiar with video games?
Those aren't
but-
allowed at camp.
Yeah, there's hardly any electricity here. It all runs off of generators.
This might
We're part
be,
of an immersive. Go ahead, Scrat.
This might be a bit of a shock. You might want to possibly take a seat. Probably won't believe us. I look at Marley.
You're a video game.
I start going through the nurse's office medkit to look for a thermometer because I think they're clearly running a fever and hallucinating. So I'm going to check their temperature.
Marley just throws her hands up and just goes, "Can we just find the menu?"
Alice, the
Frank?
thermometer is added to your inventory.
Awesome.
Frank looks pensive, trying to figure out using physics all of the inconsistencies. Yeah, that
Okay.
actually tracks.
So we came from several different games. One was in high school, where we did a dating thing. That's where I met Marley. Also, there was a Goblin War game. We're looking for pieces of a game known as Otherrealm, which is very broken.
That's where I'm originally from. I'm the defender of the princess. And she poses with the stick.
Frank, I think they might be nerds. I think they're nerds, Frank.
Oh my god, I just want to
They're
fight a
vipers.
dragon.
No, the wipe camp is 3 camps east.
Yeah, we don't have those types of activities here.
I almost went to that one this year. Almost.
I wish Frank went to that one this year.
Rude?
I'm sorry, Frank. There's only so many years I can listen to you talk about your foxes.
But it's adorable.
They're adorable the first time around, Frank, not the 5th.
It is actually 4 o'clock now. You know, because you all innately know what time it is. And it is time for the last activity of the day. What would you like to do at camp?
Oh man, what are our options to do at camp?
Oh, whatever options you would like. I'm a very open-minded storyteller.
Oh,
Please,
no.
please share.
Rock climbing.
Rock climbing, very good.
I think we should go rock climbing.
I like rock climbing. I like getting my paws a little dirty. Let's go.
Marley, Pee-wee, Alice and Frank just started talking all of a sudden about the next activities, like it's on a clock.
All right, so there's a framework in place, Pee-wee. There's just not a narrative.
Yeah.
This time,
I gestured to the schedule on the back of the nurse's office. Yeah, it's scheduled.
Yeah, like every hour it's written out.
It's right there in plain view.
And you asked for a menu, and the menu for the dining hall is right next to the schedule.
And if you have any allergies, make sure you tell the nurse. It's actually very important.
To scrutinize both of these documents closely. I'm looking for an access point to the code of the game. I'm panicking. Pee-wee has no idea what to do. Usually there's computers and electricity. Like, we're in the woods. The heck?
Look, there's not any electricity in here. I mean, there's a light bulb. There's one wire. There's a single wire coming from a light bulb hanging overhead, and that is it. All of the documents, everything, that's all paper.
Is there a camp director with a computer somewhere?
There.
There is a camp director's office. It's in cabin 7, and it is always locked.
Bingo boingo, break-in time.
We're not allowed in there, though, guys. I mean, it's locked for a reason.
Marley twirls the stick very impressively and just goes, not for long.
The only people who ever get into the director's office are the kids who are going to get sent home. You don't want that.
You're gonna get us in trouble. We like this camp.
I don't think we should get them in trouble, Marley.
Okay.
But maybe we could look through the window a little?
I don't see a problem with that.
I accept your compromise, Pee-wee. Lead on, Frank or Alice, whichever one of you is feeling confident.
So, to be clear, for my two campers, or two traditional campers, I guess, is your activity today helping them break into the camp director's office? Your 4 o'clock activity?
I feel like I can't abandon them because they're so perplexing. They're clearly lost and need help with something.
I am not arguing with this. I just want to be very clear that that is what's happening.
Let's call it giving them the lay of the land. Showing them camp.
Yes. How diplomatic of you. Yes. You are showing them the lay of the land. And as all of the other campers run off to their activities for the next hour and a half, you see some people over at the archery range. You definitely see those canoes are out on the lake now. There are people over rock climbing. And the 4 of you sneak past all of it towards the camp director's office. What do you do?
Can I have a little look through the window?
You can have a little look through the window. Yeah. You peer in, and it's definitely dusty. You kind of have to like rub some of the dirt off if you want to see inside.
It's definitely dust, not static. Right? I'm not saying I have a complex now, but...
Dust. No, this looks dusty. You're able to peer inside, and inside, there's no one there. There's a desk. There's a bookshelf. There's something kind of shadowy in the corner, kind of hard to make out what exactly it is. There's a big coat rack, and on it hangs a big coat and what looks like fur?
Renee, you're saying that really weird. What?
Yes. Well, I was trying to decide if Pee-wee would know what this is, and I think that it would have to be a roll to see if you know what this is.
Both Scrat and Pee-wee are confused.
Pee-wee doesn't know much about camp, right? I'm getting the impression Pee-wee doesn't know a lot about camp.
Mostly because Scrat has no idea what camp is like. Hi, y'all. We have scouts in the UK, and I never went.
Okay. Then this is going to be a Flames core challenge, just to see what you know. So, a core challenge, you roll that same base pool of 3. If you are a character of a matching suit to the challenge, you can roll a bonus die, but since you are a Gale's character, you will not roll that extra die. So,
Big old fail.
ooh, big old fail. Yeah, you don't know what this is. Is this fur? Fur?
Can I attempt to identify it?
Sure, yeah.
Core challenge as well.
Oh, no. As soon as you look through the window, you recognize the camp mascot costume.
Ah. Yeah. Only you can prevent forest fires.
Why would I
Don't
want
worry.
to?
Don't worry, it's fake fur. No real foxes were harmed in the making of that. Or even capybaras. Although capybaras would make a great feast for foxes.
They wouldn't. They'd be friends. Everyone's friends with capybaras.
No, capybaras are rodents, and
And
foxes
they're friendly.
primarily feast on rodents.
But capybaras are like way too big for foxes.
It would feed a whole family.
No, foxes don't move in that large of groups.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they just
You're
don't hunt
lying.
in that large of groups.
Yeah, so they wouldn't be able to take down a capybara.
Marley's gonna sneak away while this argument's happening and try the front door of the cabin.
You abandoned me,
locked.
Molly. Also, thank you very much, Michael Wayne, who gifts a subscription to M. Canson, and I just missed my own hands when doing heart hands there. There we go. You have... I did. I literally was like... Nyeh. You have an advantage to gift to a player of your choice. Let us know who.
Marley would like to, like, once it's locked, Marley wants to, like, kick back the doormat, see if there's a key, and Marley's gonna try to get in if there's no key.
You can't go in there right now.
Oh, is that like a system message that I'm getting a little bit?
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Pee-wee!
Do you try again?
No. Pee-wee! Pee-wee, Pee-wee, Pee-wee!
Hang on, I'm learning about foxes.
I found a system message.
A system message? I'm gonna run around the corner, also abandoning the conversation.
We don't even notice. We're very engrossed in the foxes versus capybara debate.
So I was gonna definitely try to break down the door and get in, but the system's telling me that it's not accessible at this time. There's a story, Pee-wee.
Do we need to get chucked out of camp?
I mean, listen, if it gets us in the door and gets us to wherever we gotta be, I could probably totally be a trouble camper.
I have never gotten in trouble before in my life. Except that one time where I missed dinner.
Frank says that behind us without saying anything on their approach. I'm gonna jump out of my skin.
Ah, they're moving like NPCs now.
New
Okay,
mission. Get chucked out of camp. Do not get Alice or Frank chucked out of camp.
right.
Could any of you try the door?
I don't.
I mean, Marley said there was a system message. I want to see the system message.
Okay. You try the door, and it says, it's locked.
Do we hear it say that?
It's like, you know it says that. There's no text that pops up. There's not like a voice in your head or anything. It's just like a certainty.
We told you it was locked. It's been locked.
So when a new person comes to camp, they go and register in cabin 1. What do they do then?
You
Well,
join the other
they set their
campers.
belongings down. They set
Yeah.
their belongings down in one of the overnight cabins if they're staying overnight. If they're not staying overnight, then they just go on and then they'll be picked up by their parents later.
So do we go pick a cabin?
Yeah, that would be where you go if you have stuff or you want to sleep.
I always sleep on the bottom bunk so I can get out in case the fox needs me. Oh, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, Frank. Yeah, you did.
You don't know that the fox is here.
Do
I-
you walk away from the door?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's head towards one of these cabins then. Because, like, we've got rock climbing soon, right? Like,
Similarly to when you tried the door, you get a system message, each of you. It says, "You snuck around. Gain +1 bonus to Gales."
Ooh. Ooh.
And you all innately know that you have just gotten a stat increase, which happens every time you complete a camp activity.
Ooh.
This is my first Gales. Ever.
I guess we don't have rock climbing then.
No, we missed that.
What
Unless
comes
you want to do it
next?
overnight. Now it's supper.
Marley's eyes light up.
Sure enough, you
Yes.
see campers already flocking to the mess hall. The sun is starting to go down. It had been kind of creeping behind the trees, but now you see that actual telltale signs of dusk starting to paint the sky in oranges as night approaches. And you're hungry.
Alright, so remember which cabin we are? We're cabin 3. We usually do meals as cabins. Although as a newcomer, I don't know how they expect you to know that. I guess?
You kind of missed orientation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Orientation
we get
happened
that a lot.
yesterday. Where were you?
Well, my jet bike was exploding, and then I got punched by a big robot horse thing.
Oh, that's right. They're nerds.
Oh, right. They probably had some wipe thing or something.
yeah, fighting dragons. Yeah.
Food?
Food.
Food.
You walk over to the mess hall. And sure enough, you open the door, and there are 7 tables. There's a long line. People are going through and picking out their dinners.
So how do your
Newcomers first.
how do your NPCs react here?
I don't know what you mean.
Welcome, raiders.
Hi, welcome.
I mean, like, what would happen if you pushed in?
Don't push
Well,
him.
that would be exceedingly rude.
Marley
And-
jumps right to the front of the line.
I mean, as newcomers, you are entitled to that right, but we should wait in line.
It's the nice camp-friendly thing to do.
Nope.
Marley,
Yes.
you see a number of options. There is chicken fried steak, meatloaf, and cereal.
I gotta
Oh.
get some protein. I can't just have grains for dinner. I don't
There's
know.
also a salad bar kind of floating off to the side.
No. I don't see any rabbit people in this world, but I assume that's where they eat. I don't know what magic made a chicken and a steak blend together in this world, but that sounds delicious. I'll take that. Hit the
It
option.
appears on your plate in front of you.
Does it look as underwhelming as camp food normally does?
It's actually animated pretty cutely.
So this is where all the money went. The background art and the food.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, it's like Ghibli food.
I admire the priorities of the devs for this, Marley mutters as she just like wanders off towards a table.
I holler over. It's that table.
Marley will go.
Points to table 3.
Marley will just wander over there and just drop down next to somebody.
I would stay with Alice and Frank and not push in after all.
The line moves fairly quickly, thankfully, and soon the 3 of you find yourselves up front. What food do you all get?
Alice gets cereal because she has no concept of being healthy at all.
Salad. Meatloaf.
You get meatloaf.
Frank gets some cereal and some meatloaf, but doesn't eat the meatloaf.
Okay. For those who got meatloaf, please take a stat increase 2 stones. Oh, sorry. For those who ate meatloaf, to be very clear, Frank. For those who got cereal and ate cereal, please mark an increase to Brooks. And for Marley, who got chicken fried steak, please mark an increase to Gales. You all sit down at the table, and sure enough, there are 2 other campers at the table.
I think Marley's trying to talk to one of them, trying to figure out what the storyline is here, trying to figure out like where we have to go to get this quest kicked off, what we got to do.
Yeah,
Anything.
you know, it's unfortunate. It's like they were just fed stock lines, and anytime you talk to them, they just say the same thing over and over again. And so whenever you say something to this person, they respond with, "The chicken fried steak isn't that bad tonight. I love it when the food is good here."
Do I get the feeling like out of the corner of my eye that anyone that's not really in frame is just like a black outlined shadow?
A bit, yeah.
Gotcha. Got you. All right. Then by the time the rest of the group shows up, Marley is just like emptying her pockets onto the table to figure out what she has, like in her inventory.
What do you find?
Oh, so much food and like good high quality snacks. And also a really weird camera.
Like granola bars or...
If there are granola bars, they're the high priced ones from like a healthy grocery store.
Fancy granola bars. Got it.
And like good stuff. There's a couple chocolate bars in there that are defying all logic and not being melty. Like is all the good stuff. She has a pack of Twizzlers open and is just going to town on them.
Don't let any of the counselors see that. That's contraband.
Yeah, you're not
They
supposed
can
to have.
try and take it from me.
That's how you attract bears. You can't have food
Oh
left
my
out.
gosh.
The bears
my
are gonna
gosh.
come.
Are there bears in the woods?
I don't know. There
Marley
might
looks-
be.
Marley looks delighted
Yes.
by this thought.
I don't know if there
I-
are bears in the woods because none of us are stupid enough to bring food out into the open like this. Marley,
I've
it's
seen
almost
at
like
least
you've never
3
been
bears.
camping before.
I've seen at least 3 bears in these woods, which is kind of odd. They don't usually cluster together this much. I'm thinking one of the neighboring camps has a food problem.
And we're gonna have a food problem if you keep pulling fancy granola bars out of your pocket.
Marley just starts grumbling and starts shoving all the food back away and just goes like, last time I went camping, it was with an army in the 3rd expansion, and I could hunt all the bears I wanted.
As you finish your dinner, there is a boom outside.
Ooh, a bear.
That gives us pause for thought.
Does everyone stay where they are?
I start packing up my food as though it's the cue to leave, as if it happens every day.
Yeah.
I certainly am considering going to see what it is. I have paused.
You look around and like the entire room is empty. All of those shadowy NPCs that were off screen are no longer there.
What is with this place?
We were supposed to be in our cabins 5 minutes ago.
We're gonna get in trouble, guys.
Yeah, we're out after curfew.
But aren't you just a little bit curious?
About what?
The boom?
No.
No, that's what the boom was. That was curfew sounding. At least I'm pretty sure. Never heard curfew before. Cabins are very well soundproofed.
If we are after
go home.
if we are after curfew, it can only be barely. So let's go and check out what the loud noise was.
It's not allowed.
Strictly forbidden.
You exit the mess hall.
Let's head back then, Pee-wee says, you know, like a liar.
Okay, Alice says, like she totally believes you.
Okay. Let's go back.
Yeah, we start walking towards cabin 3, happily.
The second you walk outside, you notice exactly what this boom was. It was not curfew. As you pointed out, you have never, in fact, heard curfew before. It just happened at the exact same time as curfew. So, like, obviously the two would go together. But no, it looks like someone filled the bonfire with fireworks and paint. And literally, there is blue paint splashed everywhere, all over the fronts of the cabins, all over the bonfire, all over the benches surrounding the bonfire. Just
Whoever did this is
ton
going to
of-
get in really big trouble. This is definitely
Normally-
against the rules.
Normally the pranks don't start until at least tomorrow. This is really odd.
Yeah, this is like an end of camp prank. This is pretty big.
Maybe it was the bear that made it rain paint. Perhaps it was a drizzly bear.
Bears don't do that.
Marley
have-
just looks at Pee-wee.
Bears don't have thumbs. Frank, tell Tell them that bears don't have
Bears
thumbs.
don't have thumbs. Although, they can get into your freezer if you're not careful.
That's
They're
why you
very
gotta ziplock your food.
So what y'all are telling us is that this is wrong and out of place for a normal experience at camp.
And not bears.
Yes.
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 Hey, Pee-wee. Glitch.
Yes, I think so too. We found the glitch.
Haha. Marley's gonna stomp over to the remains of the bonfire and check it out.
We should
Yeah,
figure
We
out
don't
what's
want to
going
be
on.
here. We don't want to be here when any of the counselors show up.
Frank, you should keep watch in case.
Alice
I just-
feels. Oh, finish up, Frank.
I'm keeping watch as suggested.
Alice feels intrinsically protective of these two because they're just so lost and confused, and they're gonna get attacked by a bear because they have granola bars on them. So she's gonna tag along behind them skittishly because she does not love that they're breaking rules.
This exact instinct has gotten us through the last several worlds, so Marley will absolutely take that.
Marley, could you roll me a flames challenge of 2, please, as you investigate this bonfire? And Pumpkin, could Frank roll me a Gale's challenge of 1, please, to keep watch?
I got a success and a failure, or a strike.
I failed.
Yes, yes, yes. Marley,
Yes.
you look at this bonfire, and most of the fireworks are completely destroyed. It literally looks like somehow someone stuffed paint inside them, but they still went off, and that's how paint just exploded everywhere. It doesn't make a lot of sense. There's one firework that seems reasonably still intact and covered in paint.
That's going right in the inventory.
It does. You add paint-covered firework to your inventory. But that is all you find. Unfortunately, you don't notice any clues or glitches or anything out of the ordinary. Of course, it's hard for you to know what the ordinary is. What is camp?
Aren't you concerned about getting paint in your pockets?
My clothes are going to change next time I wake up somewhere new anyways, so whatever.
But someone has to wash those clothes. Probably your mother.
I don't think I was programmed with a mom.
Oh, we're sorry.
And Marley's just going to let that just drop and keep poking through ashes.
Marley, you begin to get a little bit frustrated by the lack of clues. Please mark that strike to your character sheet.
Okay.
And, Frank. You don't see anyone coming until it is too late. And suddenly, an NPC appears in front of you all. Frank, you are startled. Please mark 2 strikes to your character. As the coach shows up, hands on hips, and she says, "What are you doing out past curfew? Get to your cabins now. Time for lights out soon."
Okay.
Yeah, Alice just doesn't even say anything, just turn tail and starts heading back to cabin 3.
Frank also heads back to the cabin.
I'm gonna whisper to Frank, I told you we'd get in trouble.
It's all their fault,
It is their fault. We're good kids. We
right?
didn't ask for this.
Coach, are you aware of the game?
Lights out soon.
Hey, Coach, I didn't get an orientation or cabin assignment.
Lights out soon.
Newspapers are made of vegetables.
Lights out soon.
Okay.
This world's weird, Pee-wee.
They put a lot of effort into coding some parts and then absolutely none in others.
This is... I don't...
I get a
What do you
feeling
do in
we're gonna
this
get
world?
a stat decrease soon if we don't head back to our cabins. I've just got a feeling.
Or maybe we'd get more stat increases if we snuck around more.
I mean,
Lights out soon.
we've been caught.
All right. I mean...
I've had this happen once before. I had to go all the way back to the start of the game and redo it. I lost my friend.
Oh. We don't want to do that.
Let's head back to the cabin. Grumpy shuffle.
Just trudge off after Alice and Frank.
You follow Alice and Frank back to cabin 3. Alice, Frank, Marley, and Pee-wee arrive a few moments after you do.
So what happens now we've been caught after curfew?
You don't break curfew. You stay in the cabin until it's not curfew.
My god, do you sleep?
Yeah.
Oh. Pee-wee just had this image of them all just waiting for, like, curfew to end.
Well, most of the cabin sleeps. I have a few errands to run.
Marley's gonna find the nearest open bunk, climb up into it, and just be like, there better be a sleep loading screen.
What's a loading screen?
Oh my gosh. This game. And out loud, she just goes, /bug report. NPC pathing. Help. And then pulls out the camera and starts fiddling with it, just like twisting knobs and seeing what it does.
Did any of that make sense to you, Alice?
Not one bit. I'm just learning to filter out some of the stuff that I don't understand.
That's probably a good skill to develop.
It's a great skill to develop. I tune you out half the time you're talking about foxes.
I'm hurt.
I get half of it. Like how
I guess I'll just have to repeat it twice as often, so you get all of it.
Thank God. I'm gonna curl up in my bunk and hug my stuffed bunny that I brought with me because I don't actually like the dark.
Yeah, absolutely. You curl up in bed. Frank, I assume you run your errands
Yes,
and then curl up in bed as well. Or however you
I
choose
do.
to
I
sleep.
do invite Pee-wee to join me
On your
since
errands?
he hasn't seemed to have made any progress toward going to bed.
Pee-wee, do you go along with Frank?
I have a near fatal sense of curiosity, and I have to.
Okay, so Frank, it sounds like they come along with you.
Okay.
What errands are you going to run?
Well, first we're going to visit Skylag. Slygar, rather. Sorry. and then we're going to investigate that noise.
Wait, I thought you didn't break curfew.
No, I never said that. I said I've never gotten in trouble before.
I like that distinction.
See, if you're never in camp the entirety of curfew, they have no jurisdiction over you.
I think I follow. So we're going to leave camp?
Yeah, as long as we don't get back before curfew ends, we'll never get in trouble.
I feel like there's some dodgy loopholes being exposed here. But okay. I'm in to help out.
Sounds great. Let's go.
I follow. Where do we go?
Yes. Both of you, please roll me Gale challenges of 1 as you try to sneak out of camp at night.
It's free plus the amount of dice in your pool, right?
Yes.
I cannot roll freeze.
You cannot.
Historically,
your pool
this is
so
true.
high now. Here's the thing. Frank, it's much more stressful to sneak out of camp tonight. Please mark 2 strikes to your character. It's because you've already been caught already, and it's hard to say
Right.
if the coach will be lurking around any corner. You just don't know. And quite frankly, Pee-wee's not doing so great at sneaking.
It looks like they've
Pee-wee-
got all of the, all of the gifts do the sneaking, but the execution just.
What goes wrong, Scrat? What?
I don't
Why are they
know.
struggling so much to sneak?
They've got the cowl of extra sneakiness. They've got the soft shoes. They're wearing, reasonably dark clothes.
Okay, well, maybe that's what it is. This is your camper, and you didn't realize that your shoes squeaked so much because there was so much commotion earlier. But now, every time you take a step, it just goes squeak, 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 squeak.
I do not fix this problem. I just follow Frank and I don't talk about it unless they do.
Please mark that 1 strike to your character sheet, please.
I have done. The strike of
Good.
shame.
But the 2 of you make it out of camp all right. And Marley, Alice, we'll come back to you shortly as you drift slowly off to sleep. Frank, where do you take Pee-wee?
I take Pee-wee down to a small, let's call it a den, on the riverbank.
Yes.
Inside is a silver fox, with speckled white fur, curled up, as if just now waking up for the night.
Are you sure you can't get in trouble for any of this, Frank?
Well, as long as we're outside of the campgrounds, they have no jurisdiction. Technically, this is the neighboring camp, so if they wanted to get us in trouble, well, they'd have to fight them, so should be fine.
Okay, well, what do we do?
Well, I was gonna play with Slagar here for couple of hours. Did you want to play too?
How do you play with a fox?
Well, they are both cat-like and dog-like. Actually, gray foxes have retractable claws similar to cats. But they make a much more dog-like noise, although not exactly dog-like. It's more of a yap than a yip or a bark. Actually, they are known for making over 20 different noises, including a chortling-like sound.
A chortling sound?
Yes.
What, like a laughter?
Yes, exactly.
You can make the fox laugh.
Well, that's not it laughing, but it sounds like a human laugh, yes. And I don't want to say I make it laugh. That would not be consensual on its part.
Hey, but how you feeling?
So confused. I'm going back through my notes of what I like mentally took down earlier. I'm like, is this fox happy on its own? You said that they traveled in large packs.
I am its pack. It's family. They're called families for foxes.
Frank, you know Slygar very well. And Slygar is bristling just a little bit.
What's wrong? Do you not like him?
Seems to be fear.
I give Pee-wee half of the meatloaf that I smuggled out, and show him how to feed Slagar.
I tried to feed Slugger.
Slygar
Why am I invested in this fox?
slowly starts to warm up. And then you hear a twig snap, and immediately Slygar jumps and runs back to the den.
Where does the twig snap?
It's off to your left.
What was that, Frank?
I don't know.
Did we check it out?
Undoubtedly.
Slygar stays in the den as the two of you go to find whatever made this twig snap.
I pull out my multi-tool. That is suspiciously missing a knife, as though I specifically made it camp compliant.
Yes. You start working your way through the brush. A few twigs snap under your feet. But after a moment, you find the source of the sound. There is a large footprint on the ground. Way bigger than size 12.
Does it have
And Frank,
does
does
it have
a what?
opposable thumbs?
On a foot?
I mean, what's the difference between a foot? Oh, you mean like an actual footprint?
It's like a footprint.
Oh,
So this is not a shoe print.
It's not a shoe print.
not like a creature footprint either. Then, like an actual human footprint.
Yes.
Oh.
but big.
I think I've realized what your game is.
What?
The Bigfoot game, isn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I point to the giant footprint. The big foot.
I mean, it's not that much bigger than Coach's feet. I wouldn't call it a big foot necessarily.
It's a bit bigger than Coach's feet.
I mean, it's a little on the large side, but
And yet I have my doubts. I think maybe
I
we
don't
should.
understand what you're going for here.
I think we should maybe head back. This doesn't seem safe.
It's not safe.
No, I wouldn't like to encounter a Marley. A Marley? A Bigfoot without a Marley. Marley's
Okay.
really good at fighting and combat encounters.
I will go back to the den and pick up Sligar.
Sligar seems very nervous all over again.
It's okay. We're going to take you out of here. We're going to take you to safety.
Yes, let's
You had-
get back as quickly as we can.
Yeah, we returned to the cabin with Sligar.
Marley, Alice,
Mm-hmm.
you heard Pee-wee and Frank leave on their errands. But you started to drift off anyway. Sleep comes easily and peacefully, and Marley, that sleep loading screen comes up just for a moment behind your eyelids. It makes it about halfway through to morning before you hear something. That low, deep growling that you heard earlier. Except it's not in the woods. It sounds like it's right outside your window.
What sort of window is this?
What do you mean?
I mean, is this like is this just like a normal, you can slide up the bottom part of it window?
Yeah, I'd say it's a normal window.
Is it open?
It is not open.
Marley's gonna very quietly roll out of the bunk, take a couple steps back, and then try to dive through the window.
Okay, yeah, sure. Go ahead and roll me what? Should we do stones or gales here? I'm gonna say gales because I think this is like sort of acrobaticsy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Gale's challenge of 2, please.
No. No.
You should have 1 bonus to Gale's from sneaking around earlier, at least.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right.
Yep.
I did that wrong. I'm sorry. Hold on a second.
You're good.
I did that very wrong.
Yeah. There are a few more dice you should roll. It's not a failure yet.
That's better. Still not great, nor successful, and actually worse.
Okay. So here's how this plays out. You dive through the window. You make it okay. It hurts. It
Yes.
hurts real bad. You just dove through a window. That's
I
glass.
did. Yeah.
That's ow.
That's Al. Listen, it's not a robot though kicking me in the face. It's fine.
So much better than a robot kicking you in the face. And you get scratched up pretty bad as you take those strikes of damage. And what was the goal of diving through this window?
If there's a monster on the other side, Marley wanted to get a piece of that thing because it has been a weird and confusing day, and she knows how to punch. Plus, no one expects someone to dive through a perfectly good window.
You are so very right. You dive through this window. You crash onto the ground, almost face first, hurting from the glass cuts. And after a moment of just sheer uncertainty about any of your whereabouts, you realize that you are clutching something in your hand.
Yes. What is it?
A clump of fur.
Marley is going to pop back up and look through the window at anyone who might be awake after all that noise and just go, I got some.
The monster, though, is nowhere to be seen.
But I got some fur.
Alice, if you weren't awake before, you are now.
Yep, I'm awake. Well, I wore a really good shirt for this today because it's actually cryptozoology.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't mean to, but it did. That's
so perfect.
Oh yeah, I wake up clutching my little stuffed bunny whose ears I was using to wipe away my homesickness tears with earlier. And I'm very confused and very upset that we seem to have broken curfew again. Marley.
Same night.
Yeah, what's up?
What did you do?
There was that thing was growling on the other side of the window.
What thing?
Whatever was growling earlier.
Are the bears coming after you because of the granola bars? I told you not to have the granola bars in your pocket, Marley.
No, bears don't move that fast, and I can take a bear.
Alice does not know what to do with the statement that Marley can take a bear.
Marley holds up her hand that's got the clump of fur and be like, I did get some of it, though.
How?
I jumped through a window. No one expects that.
What time is it?
Halfway through the loading screen.
Yeah,
You're
it's
a very
late.
confusing person, Marley.
No, I am a perfectly rational person in a not complete game world.
Around this time, Frank and Pee-wee, you return to the cabin to see Alice at this broken window and Marley sitting outside holding aloft a clump of fur.
Pee-wee!
Hey, Marley.
I got some of the monster.
I think it's a Bigfoot. We saw a Bigfoot print. Whilst that seems like a very obvious clue, I guess it could be misconstrued, but a Bigfoot seems to indicate a Bigfoot to me. Or maybe Bigfoots. Big feet. Bigfoots?
What's a big feet? Can I punch it?
It's kind of like a ape creature. Human
Bigfoot's-
ape thing.
Guys, Bigfoot is not real, so no, you cannot punch it because it's not real.
Point of order. I have a clump of fur in my hand.
I don't know where you got that. Frank keeps fur all around the place anyways. What? You could have found that anywhere.
No, that fur is from... And can I inspect the fur? And identify the fur?
Can you roll me a flames challenge of 1, please?
I can.
Yes. Yes, you can. Frank, you can inspect this fur. This is no animal fur that you have ever seen before, but it's because it's not real.
You got that off of the mascot, didn't you? It's fake fur.
What would a mascot be doing growling outside our window halfway through the night?
Preventing forest fires.
Yeah, and because a Bigfoot makes much more sense than a mascot costume.
Oh, for fur's sake. Or faux fur's sake, if you prefer.
Okay. It's the costume? It's just the costume walking around? To cabin 7.
Not allowed in there during the day. Why would we be allowed in there during curfew?
Yeah, you
Because-
shouldn't even be outside.
I didn't use a door. It's fine.
I
We can
don't
go,
think it
doesn't
works
go see if
that
it's still
way.
hanging up.
Besides, Slacker needs his rest.
Who?
I gestured to the fox in my arms.
Frank's fox, haven't you been paying attention, Marley?
You're the one who taught me to tune him out.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay.
That is a very pretty animal. Does it hunt?
It does. It hunts small rodents. In fact, it can hear underground small rodents.
Can it hear walking costumes?
I presume so.
To cabin 7.
I guess,
Ooh,
I
I'll
guess
go
we'll go to
along.
cabin 7. Yeah.
Hey, but if we're breaking curfew again, we better squatch ourselves.
Can you take off your shoes? Those are exceptionally noisy.
Yeah, sorry.
Yep. Okay, all 4 of you, please roll me that Gale's challenge of 1 to make it across camp.
All right. I'm going to flat out need you to spell out what numbers I need to put in.
Okay. For your Gale's challenge, you will do a
Mhm.
base 3 dice plus whatever the Gale's bonus is marked at the top of your character sheet. So whatever
Sweet.
that plus number is, you'll do
So I got 3 and it's a base of 3, so it's 66.
66. So
Sweet.
/R 66 exclamation point.
I did it correctly, I think.
You did.
Is the 3 including your markup from sneaking around earlier?
Oh. I mean, it's a success either way, so.
Yeah.
It is. That's true. And
So was mine.
just as a reminder that everyone does have at least 1 advantage, and Marley, you do also have an auto success. So if you ever feel the need to use them to help you through some of these challenges, you may.
I feel like I should always use them on Gale's challenges. I don't know why I forget.
Aren't you nominally a Gale's character?
Oh yeah, I've got a dice pool of like 8. I just can't roll 3s normally.
Marley, Frank, and Pee-wee. This is very stressful. This is all very stressful. Yet again, you are sneaking across camp, and yet again, it is past curfew, and anyone could pop out at any second. Please mark that 1 strike on your character sheets, but everyone does very, very well sneaking across camp, and in fact, both Alice and Pee-wee, you have rolled epic successes.
Yay!
So you can sneak very quietly. Wow, it really was those shoes holding you back, Pee-wee. What does this look like?
I mean, I guess I'm traversing at a speedy pace. Hot foot, barefoot, Bigfoot hunting, I guess.
There's a bear. Where?
Yeah, I'm keeping low and walking. I guess since we both got epic successes, are we walking together, Alice? Are we like?
I feel like we're in a row. I don't know. In my mind, this looks very comical. Like we're in a row, very cartoony, trying to sneak and keep in the shadows and look around a bit. So yeah, Alice is trying to keep in the shadows, and she's not looking out for a Bigfoot. She's looking out for like Coach and other adults who might yell at us.
Yes, yeah. With that epic success, you are able to keep watch just fine as you still sneak very quietly.
Yay.
There's no one in those shadows.
How does the cabin look as we approach? Is there a light on?
Oh no, lights out was ages ago now.
Want to go peek up in the window and see if there's if that mascot costume is still on the coat rack?
Fair enough. You look in. And it is not.
Told you guys Bigfoot is fake.
So, there's a walking costume somewhere in this camp.
Yeah, one of the counselors usually takes it every so often to try and scare kids, make ghost stories. It's like their version of a prank. It's like their version of a prank, I think. Or else it's a reign of terror. I'm not sure which.
Some counselor about to get punched.
Don't do that. If
Molly's
That'll
you,
get
gonna
you in
get
like super trouble.
if you send a counselor to the nurse's office,
They might call the police, and then you'll
You're not
never be
coming
allowed back in Camp Slinks.
yeah.
Is the door open at this time?
It's locked.
Yeah.
Does the system message still pop up?
Do you try it?
Yeah.
You can't go in there right now.
Marley is going to sit down on the step and just wait.
What?
Pull
You
a
don't
granola
want to?
bar out of her pocket and start eating it.
You don't want to dive through the window again, Marley?
That's how you
Marley
get
just
buried.
like leans around and looks around the corner at Alice and just goes, "Are you daring me to?"
I don't know. You seemed like you were doing such a great job with it before, and that was solving all of your problems, Marley.
Marley goes and dives through the window. Alice is making a lot of good points here. Alice is making a lot of good points.
Yep.
You don't have to do that.
Still gonna.
Yep. Okay. Go ahead and roll me that Gales challenge again, please. Gales
Woohoo!
challenge of 2.
Well, now.
Matt, how does this look on this epic success with just
Oh
that
my
one
God.
strike of damage? Can't avoid the glass, even on it.
Yeah, there's still glass.
Still glass.
Marley manages to Marley just stands up, finishes the granola bar, stuffs the wrapper in her pocket, and then just runs at the wall of cabin 6, jumps off of it, and dives through the window of cabin 7 from there.
Parkour.
You better put that wrapper in a approved of disposal.
This epic thing. That rapper.
Do you want bears? Because that's how you get bears.
Marley
And ants.
rolls over on the floor inside the cabin, pops up, looks out the window, pulls the wrapper out of her pocket, looks at a trash can in the corner, and flicks it out the window. Just goes, "Send me home, counselor." And she's going to go unlock the front door.
You all hear like the system message go, you need to keep it. And the door opens.
Come on in. The cabin's fine.
Oh, you
I
hacked
get
the lock.
I get Slagar to fetch the wrapper.
I go in. I've given up arguing. It worked, I guess.
Welcome to the camp director's office. It is dark. There is no camp director. There is no mascot suit. What do you do?
What is there a computer in here?
There is no computer.
Oh.
Marley's just gonna lean against the door and just like pick some glass out of her arm and just be like, "Got us in though."
This room must be off limits for some reason. There must be something in here that we can use or need for the story.
I mean, it's off limits because it's the director's room. Are you the director? No.
This is also where they put the contraband, so...
Contraband! I start rifling through the contraband drawers.
Wasn't there a lump in the corner too? Marley wants to go check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, first of all, Pee-wee, you go over to, there's literally a basket on the shelf that just says lost and found. But inside are a number of things. There is a game device in here. There's some paints, face paints.
Oh, not like exploding bonfire paints then, but face paints. Okay.
No, there's some blue paint in there, but it's not exploding bonfire paints. And is there anything else that you would like to find in this lost and found? There's a sweater in there that just has a big L on the front, like stitched into the front of it. There is a little toy car. There's a cell phone, absolutely. A couple water balloons. They're not full of anything. It's just like a bag of water balloons that are empty.
I will take the water balloons.
Water balloons are added to your inventory.
You better pick up those pieces if you throw them. A wild animal could swallow them and die.
They biodegradable.
I mean, if you're only going to listen to 50% of the things that Frank says, that's a fairly important one to listen to. I'll back that one up. Don't choke the wildlife, please.
Rules for visiting camp. Please don't choke the wildlife.
I also have a question. There is a sink in the corner of the room. Do you fill them?
Yeah. I don't know how this works in my inventory, but yeah, I do.
It's really easy. You just take them out and you like tap them on the sink, and then all of a sudden, full water balloons are in your inventory.
Great.
And Marley,
Yes.
you went to go check out the thing in the corner, correct?
Uh-huh.
It is no longer there.
Out loud, Marley just goes, huh. Hey, Pee-wee, wasn't there something over here earlier?
Yes, there was a strange lump.
Marley like steps aside and just gestures to be like, nothing anymore.
Marley, can you roll me a flames challenge of 1, please?
Sure thing. Well, for all the good it does. I mean, I passed, but
You did, yeah.
Marley's getting real close to a wound again.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
You get down on the
Those
ground.
windows were asking for it.
And you're looking around where this lump was earlier. And you find just a lone stray hair. The moment you find it, you hear a groaning sound from the doorway. And as you are startled, you bang your head against the desk,
Marley
taking those strikes.
is yelling some unfortunate words right now.
That's also contraband. No cursing at camp.
A loud growl rumbles through the room, and all
The
of
camp
you
director
see,
does not like that.
looming in the doorway, a huge, furry, hulking figure. It takes a big step into the room. The floorboards creak under its weight as it begins to move towards you all. What do you do?
Are you also a new camper? No. Registration is cabin 1.
Frank, I don't think that's a new
Also, it's
camper.
Marley wants to try to tackle this thing back out the door.
Yeah,
I
okay, roll me a
understand the
Stones
rules of
challenge,
this camp game, but Marley needs to punch something today.
please. Stones Challenger 2. This is a beefy Bigfoot.
Oh, I don't have all the stones this time. It's very sad.
No.
Oh.
No.
No.
Wrestling is only allowed in designated areas.
Frank is so helpful. Marley, you lock arms with this Bigfoot for a moment before it throws you backwards onto the ground. Mark that strike of damage, please.
Ow.
The rest of you see Marley easily flung across the room. What do you do?
Can I try and leap out the window that's been broken?
You can. It will be a Gale's challenge of 1 now that the window is broken for you.
Nailed it.
Yeah, rockin'. Yeah, you sail through that window. You do get a little bit cut by the glass on the way out. Again, it's part of the hazard. But you sail through just fine. Make it to the other side. Safely out of the cabin.
Seeing
Good luck, guys.
Seeing Alice leave via window gives Pee-wee a lot of inspiration, and Pee-wee would like to follow.
Okay, same challenge, please. Gale's challenge of 1.
Oh, wow. Can I use my advantage? I forgot to say it again.
Yeah, yeah.
Yay, thank you, Renee. So kind.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Better.
Again, glass is hard to miss, but only one strike is significantly better, and this is an epic success. So, is there anything you would like to add to how this plays out, Scrat?
I think I just sort of, rather than like dive through, I sort of more like hurdle jump through so I can land at speed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're ready to run on the outside too.
Oh yeah.
And we'll do kind of like a +1 forward thing where you can use part of that epic success on your next action as well.
Awesome, thank you.
This leaves Frank and Marley in the room. Frank, what do you do?
I would like to help Sligar out the window.
Yes, absolutely. It's easier now that Marley, Alice, and Pee-wee have all helped knock glass out of this window. There's not very much left. And you're able to get Sligar out to a point on the grass where there is not too many shards of broken window, leaving just you inside.
And I would like to exit also via the window.
Are you going carefully or hurdling? How are you doing this?
Carefully.
Okay. So this will take you just a little bit, but with all of that glass knocked out at this point, especially after Pee-wee's epic success, this will be okay. It's pretty easy to climb over. It just gives you like a couple pinpricks on your hand kind of thing as you navigate. Marley. Bigfoot looms over you, growling and snarling, and begins to reach for you.
Marley is realizing that in this video game, she's not as strong as she normally is, but she seems to be fairly acrobatically inclined and wants to try to like grab the arm coming at her and like use that leverage to flip the Bigfoot and then maybe make an escape.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Well, I hear you wanting to make a Gales challenge here, so
That's more what Marley's aiming for here.
Yeah, we're gonna
She's
make
seeing her
a
strengths.
Gales challenge of 2 to try and like use the Bigfoot's weight against it. Yep.
I mean,
Yep. That'll work. How does this look? I will say that without strength, you can't like, flip the Bigfoot entirely, but you can absolutely use this as in some dexterous way.
okay. So Marley's going to like grab the hand when it comes down and just like use the beefiness of that arm to kind of propel herself up and over the back of the Bigfoot so that she can just run out the door.
Okay, yeah, you're able to do that, and the Bigfoot stumbles into the room, growls a bit, and looks a bit confused, and roars again. You are all safely outside. Pee-wee, you landed running. Frank, you have made it safely out of the director's office. What are you all doing?
Marley's going to shut the front
You're
door.
muted. Oh, slam the door? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm running
The
straight
Bigfoot roars again.
back for our cabin.
Okay.
Oh, I called it our cabin. Wow, I've assimilated to the setting.
Come so far. That's character growth. Yeah.
Yeah.
You run back to the cabin. The rest of you, do you follow?
Yeah.
Can everyone roll me a Gale's Core challenge, please? A Gale's Core challenge is just the 3 base dice plus 1 bonus die if you are a Gale's character, which I believe, yes. All right,
Nice.
Marley, Pee-wee, and Alice. Frank, you are too focused on Sligar and making sure that he's getting back to the cabin okay. The other 3 of you see a shape just beyond the gate of camp as you run back towards your cabin. It's large, it's hulking, it's furry, and it's silhouetted by moonlight as you book it across to cabin number 3.
What sort of silhouette does it have?
Big, hulking, furry, humanoid.
Okay. Okay. Marley's going to try to catch up with Pee-wee and just point at it and just go, "Didn't I just try to punch that thing?" and then lock it in an office.
Yeah. What do you think, Alice Frank? Is it still not Bigfoot's? Big feet?
Alice is just crying a little bit at this point. Her entire worldview has just skewed a bit. She's just crying and running.
Oh.
We learned pretty good baseball slides yesterday. I'd like to baseball slide into the cabin if we can. Sounds comedic.
Yeah, absolutely. Gale's core challenge, please. Just those 4 dice. See how you do. Yep. Slide into the cabin and safe.
Marley's just running. She's done enough tonight.
Marley, Alice, you arrive at the cabin shortly after Pee-wee. Frank, you and Slygar do as well, and soon all of you are inside. Your bed's just like you left them, and the window's still broken.
Thanks, Marley.
It was a
Hey,
bit.
at least now it'll be reasonably cool in here. It's always too hot at these cabins.
Shut the door behind you.
Yes. Is any of my archery equipment in my cabin?
Do you keep your archery equipment in your cabin?
I feel like she would, since it's her favorite activity.
Yeah,
Probably.
I think that's
Yeah,
valid. Yeah.
She has her own bow that she's like really territorial over and is like, this is mine.
Okay.
Newbies can't have it.
Yeah.
Sweet.
do
I'm
you?
gonna grab my bow and my little quiver of arrows. They're probably a bit dinky and campy, but you know, well, we got it.
Mm-hmm. You grab all of them.
Ooh. Are we going hunting, Alice?
I don't know. I feel better with my bow, and I'm hugging my bow.
You know, I bet that totally isn't a Bigfoot. I bet that's just a special, like, cutout of the camp mascot for picture day tomorrow. That was totally on the calendar.
You
Why don't we
hear
go-
Footsteps outside the window.
Dang it.
Snarling sound. Some sniffling. Some shuffling. And after a moment, the footsteps pass. And the cabin is peaceful.
Alice is still crying a little bit and sniffling, hugging her bow.
It'll probably be better tomorrow, Alice.
Yeah, things are better in the daytime.
So, are these beds actually comfortable? I just realized I've never slept on one.
Profoundly no.
I curl up on top of it, cuddling Slagar. Anyway.
Marlo's gonna climb back into her bed and just be like, oh. Well, it'll probably be a shorter load screen this time.
Sure enough, as you drift off to sleep and your hearts slowly stop racing, the loading screen behind your eyes, Marley, picks right up where it left off, halfway through, and continues moving until it reaches the other side. And when you open your eyes, the room is full of bright light. It is day 2 of camp. It's as if You hadn't encountered Bigfoot last night. The window's still broken, so there's that. And it is slightly cooler in this room, as Frank so accurately pointed out.
Marley will
It's
roll out of
moving.
bed and stretch and just go, that is better with the window open. Is there anyone else still in the cabin, or are they all off at activities already?
Everyone else is already gone, except for Alice, Frank, and Pee-wee.
Oh. Good morning.
Frank wakes up, drenched in sweat.
Alice wakes up and she tucks her stuffed bunny back into bed and gives it a little kiss on its head and pats it, but still has her bow.
So, what's on the schedule for today?
I've got to get presented. So I'm gonna hit the showers.
Any camp activity you want to do, Marley?
Why don't you show me the archery range?
Okay.
Nothing
I love the
possibly
archery
go
range.
wrong.
Absolutely nothing. Yeah, Alice will never say no to the archery range.
You
Guess
walk
we'll head
out
that
of the
direction.
cabin, and you notice a few things right off the bat. First, all of the other campers have already gotten to their activities, and you see the paint-covered fire pit area is still very blue, but there are a number of new things about it. One, there are tracks all the way through that paint. They go in and out, over to the director's cabin, back to cabin 3. And you see more footprints, larger than your own, larger than anyone in camps. Sets of large feet and blue tracks away from the paint.
Marley's going to take notice of Alice's bow and everything. Just be like, so they'll totally let us take equipment out of the archery range, right?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Show me the archery range.
Okay, let's go.
Marley gonna get a bow and go hunting. We have to be very, very quiet while hunting big feats.
I'd prefer not to. I think we should just do archery. But yeah, let's go to the archery range.
Oh, we're gonna do archery. Marley, we'll take a few shots just to get acquainted with things at the archery range.
Yes, absolutely. Pee-wee and Frank, what is your first activity of the day? Marley and Alice have both gone to archery.
Frank spends an hour showering and getting ready.
Okay.
I would actually like to tag with the archery. That sounds great. I love archery.
Okay. You all head out to the archery range, except for Frank, who rarely participates in activities anyway, so seems on par. And the three of you find a bow, arrows, and a target off in the distance. Welcome to a mini game. We'll do one roll to see how you do, each of you. Alice, if you'll show us how it's done with a Gale's Challenge of 1, please.
What does that mean?
Yes, this will be that base 3 dice plus your full Gale's bonus. Now, I will say that because this is a mini game, strikes will not count against you. It will just be to see how you do. Okay. So with that single success, that 3 Gales, you're able to hit the target and get us off to a pretty good start. It's not your best work. You're still a little bit thrown off from the night before, and your arms were a bit cramped from holding your bow so tightly. But it doesn't hurt you at all. You do succeed, and you pass off to the next person. Who's going next?
Marley will go next. She was
Brilliant.
raring to go for this.
If you could roll me that Gale's challenge of 1, please. That is a success. Still not great. It is done. You've succeeded. You add a bow and arrow to your inventory. And it's just a little off of Alice's arrow. Pretty close. Pee-wee.
Pee-wee will
You
sort of-
also add a bow and arrow to your inventory as you step up to the target.
Thank you. I'm just sort of like play with it a little and just draw and fire. I'm gonna do that thing that some archers do where they don't really look, you know. But like not looking away, I mean like, but they don't do the aim thing. They just sort of like draw and release in one motion.
Mm-hmm. There are those 3s.
Found him.
Scrap. Like,
Yeah, like they just do the the draw and release thing without really doing the aim thing, and it just sails. What's that bullseye?
and so precisely hits that bullseye. I mean, this isn't just like you hit the center of the target. You hit the dead center of the target.
It actually plays into my talent. I have weapons expert. This is how it's supposed to go.
You're doing so well.
Marley's just applauding. Just goes, "Did you spec archery?"
It's not my primary weapon, but I have an excellent ability to pick up even unfamiliar weapons and wield them well.
One might say a speedy learner.
One might say a speedy learner.
Marley wants to find like an extra bowstring as well.
Yes, okay, sure. Add that to
Thank
your
you.
inventory.
Appreciate it.
And with that, Pee-wee wins the minigame. And you hear like little confetti cannons go off, and it's like, ding, yay! And there's like a little sign above that comes from nowhere, hangs down from like a little cloud that just says, Pee-wee wins! PWS 0013 wins!
And
That's how
Alice,
you entered your name in this game.
Alice, none of this seems weird to you? The cloud and the confetti and...
This is how you do archery.
Huh.
Yay?
Seems fun.
It's very fun. It's my favorite.
As you wrap the minigame and exit out, you hear screams sounding across the camp.
Oh.
Perfect timing.
Frank, you exit the shower I guess the bathroom. The shower was part of it, but getting ready was the other. And finally finished getting ready as the others completed their activity. And
That
you hear
includes
the
going
screams
to
as
the
well.
nurse for my morning medication.
Yes, so you'll come out of cabin 1 then to hear screams.
Yep. Ah, water balloon fight. Where's it not the water balloon fight?
You see a large Bigfoot hulking at the front gate.
Ah, neighbors.
Marley's going to kneel down, pull the arrow from her inventory, pull the paint-covered firework from her inventory, and pull the spare bowstring from her inventory, and start wrapping them together, and just look at Pee-wee and just go like, "Real hope you can replicate that shot again, bud." And hand him the artillery shell.
You combine your inventory items into one epic inventory item. What is it called, Marley? How does this show up in inventory?
The blue cannon surprise.
Yes. And you pass off this blue cannon surprise, which then appears in your inventory. Pee-wee?
I'm not gonna... Well, I mean, I'm not gonna aim. I'm gonna do the same draw and release thing, but I'm not intending to hit the actual creature, because a part of me thinks that's wrong. I want to hit, like, the ground nearby it, so it gets the, the literal splash damage. But not the actual full-on explosive damage. Oh boy, I'm gonna use my advantage as well.
Yes, you may.
They're both identical.
One, yeah, that's true.
Yep. Oh well.
So.
Oh, I have a thing. One of my flaws is in fact called splash damage. In that I tend to be a little more careless when you are attacking, hence the no aiming, and often creatures and objects will get caught in the crossfire.
Okay. You aim, fire. This is an epic success because you're playing with several things here. What does this look like?
I think the arrow lands closer to the camp than like anywhere else, and when it blows, it will explode with paint everywhere, and it's going to cover most of the people in the camp. If the Bigfoot happens to be near cabin 1, and we can cover Frank, who's just spent so long like doing their ablutions in paint, that would be choice.
I think that has to happen with your flaw being splash damage. I think that Frank was not far from this Bigfoot, and so Frank is one of the only people, because he is one of the only NPCs that is actually animated. Yeah, paint lands everywhere. It splashes all over this Bigfoot, who roars.
It just roars?
And then you hear another roar,
But
echoing it. You turn around to see that standing near the mess hall, just a few feet away off to the right of the building, lurks another Bigfoot. This one is not covered in blue paint. Both of them start to move towards you. What do you do?
okay, so it's the light of day now, right?
It is.
Does one of them look more like a mascot costume than a big feet?
Please roll me a flame score challenge.
No, not a blessed thing.
Hard to tell. They're both a little bit far away, and one is covered in blue paint.
Yeah. Okay, gang. That was my plan. Big paint arrow kaboomy. I am now taking any suggestions for what we do next.
Well,
Because so far I have not had luck punching them.
I gave it a warning shot. Should I try shooting it again? Like, but actually hit it this time?
Sure. I don't have another
Frank's
paint
stares
firework.
at you.
Both Bigfoot start to step closer. They're coming nearer and nearer from both sides of you.
I knock an arrow. I'm gonna fire at one.
Which one? The blue one or the not blue one?
The blue one.
Yeah. This'll hit. And it is also an epic success, so please tell me what this looks like.
I'm going for a leg shot.
Mhm.
Like, stop. Please stop, shot.
It stumbles a bit, falling to one knee. The other Bigfoot hesitantly takes a step back. Still lurking, still growling, but now looking at you all more cautiously. The other kids have scattered, run to all directions.
So helpful.
Except Frank, who's still staring.
Well,
Yes.
I'm assuming all of the other kids besides the the NPCs we have present here, they can dictate their own actions.
I think Marley wants to unstring her bow and start moving towards the not blue Bigfoot. Improvised weapon. Big stick.
Oh, is this the stick that you picked up outside?
No, unstrung the bow.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yes.
I would like to go to the fencing area and throw Marley a sword.
Oh,
Okay.
Yes. Even
Okay.
better.
Yeah. Frank, I think you can do this pretty quickly. You move over and throw it. If you could go ahead and roll me a Gale's challenge of 1 each, just to make sure that this goes off smoothly as you try to toss this over and catch it.
I'm
Do
going
I
to
have
use
an
my
advantage?
advantage.
You both do have advantages, yes.
I would like to use one.
Yes, absolutely.
And you said Gales?
Gale's, yes.
Well, I'm going to take that first one.
I'm going to take my first one.
Yeah, okay, both of you, you're able to pass this off okay. Quite successfully, actually, based on Frank's first roll. And Marley, you catch this sword out of the air.
So it's going to be that moment where I have the sword in one hand and the unstrung bow in the other,
Mhm.
and I'm just going to look at him, and then I'm going to look at the Bigfoot that I'm walking towards and just be like, uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Roll me a Brooks challenge of 1, please.
I would like to just auto-succeed, thank you.
Yes. This Bigfoot immediately turns tail and runs. You see it run down to the lake, hop in a canoe, and start paddling away.
Delightful. Marley turns to the other one.
The other one is slowly dragging itself across the ground. Its leg looks injured. And it is slowly moving towards you, Pee-wee, crawling forward with hands and elbows, pulling itself towards you.
Frank,
Yes.
you know how to care for animals and things, right? Maybe you could look at this thing's leg? I mean, it's still crawling towards me menacingly, but I'm sure if we show it some goodwill, it will come around. You're really good with animals, Frank. Have I mentioned that?
I don't think you understand. You shot an animal with a lead-based paint and then gave it an open wound in the paint-infused area.
Just a
Your
flesh
best
wound.
bet is to amputate. And I don't think it would appreciate that.
Oh, I could do that.
Reach a short range of you, Pee-wee.
Hey there. Hey. Try and scritch it on the head.
Do you really go over to it? Yeah.
Oh, hang on a minute. Well, I thought you meant like short range, like.
Oh, it's just getting closer and closer to you.
Oh, okay. I'm like.
It's not quite like melee yet.
Alice, what do I do?
Oh, Alice is ready to shoot it. Alice has her bow notched and is like ready to kill, only feels a little bit bad. So you might want to decide what you're doing fast.
Uh-oh.
Alice is ready, at the ready.
I look back at Frank. Like my options seem to be maim or kill at the moment.
I mean, you already took the maim option. It has been named. We're at the or kill part, Pee-wee.
We
Marley,
are
what are
also
you doing?
faster than it at the moment.
I feel like that's leaving it to die. Oh god.
Marley?
Marley's just gonna walk over to it and just kind of like use the unstrung bow to like kind of push it on its side. Just like, no, lay down over there, lay down that way.
It rolls and kind of looks up at you.
If you're not actually a Bigfoot, if you're a person, you should tell us now, please.
Marley,
Yes.
please roll me a Gale's Core challenge.
Oof.
It reaches towards you. And it just looks off.
I'm gonna smack the hand that's reaching towards me with the bow. Just whack. No.
You whap it. And its hand snatches away a little bit. And then it reaches towards you again.
Okay. I'm not nearly as hurt as I was last time, so I'm going to squat down and I'm going to take its hand.
You take its hand. It holds on.
All right, big feets. We're going to make you feel better. Frank,
Yes.
no amputating.
Alright. I could try a tourniquet. At best, it's only going to have 2 hours before it loses the limb for good if I tourniquet.
Or is there a medical kit in the nurse's office?
There might actually be nurses in the nurse's office.
Both good.
Frank, do you go to
Do
the
you want me to
nurse's office?
stabilize while...
I'll go to the nurse's office.
Pee-wee goes to the nurse's office.
I run quickly. I want to get away from this situation which I may have caused.
Pee-wee, you run to the nurse's office. It's not far. It's cabin 1. Marley, do you continue holding this Bigfoot's hand?
Yeah.
Please roll me a flames challenge of 1. Alice,
Oh.
how are you doing? You had that bow ready to loose an arrow.
I'm still ready. I still don't completely trust it.
Okay.
I feel like somebody's got to have their heads up to fight just in case.
Just in case something goes wrong, sure. Frank, what are you doing?
I would like to stabilize the injury.
So you go over to the leg.
Yes.
Marley, you continue to hold this Bigfoot's hand. And as you do, in this slightly calmer moment, you notice a few things. First, this fur does not feel real. And under some of the fur, you see just the slightest flashes of color. Blue, orange, purple, brown. And you notice just around the neckline, some hair.
Does it match that piece of hair I found last night?
It does. It's long and it's blonde.
I want to try to pull the Bigfoot head off, please.
You pull the big head. What?
The Bigfoot head.
It's a big
It may
head.
also be a big
You-
head.
Yeah, you pull the Bigfoot big head off of the costume. And blonde hair spills free from where it was tucked inside the suit, framing the face of Princess Adria Lightwind.
I am so glad I didn't shoot you.
Up at you. And her eyes are full of static, completely blank, and filled with shocks of color: blue, orange, purple, and brown. And in the final moments, as Frank bandages her leg, Alice remains poised to shoot, and Pee-wee comes running back out with a first aid kit added to their inventory.
And a nurse. They said they have arrow shots like every day. I'm bringing an expert with me.
There totally
That
wasn't
is
a nurse
true.
there. The nurses are not animated. And the whole world shifts around you. Somehow, Alice and Frank managed to stay still, as if they're connected to the ground and to the game. But Pee-wee, you and Marley begin to slide. Marley, after a moment, you're left just hanging on to the princess by the hand you are holding. Pee-wee, you slide past both of them.
Can I try to swing my legs so that he can grab on?
Yeah, absolutely. Gale's challenge, please.
For both of us?
Just for you.
Okay.
Challenge 1. You're able to swing your legs out and catch Pee-wee. It tugs against you, though, and your grip starts to slip. And Adria just keeps looking at you, keeps reaching for you, and holding onto your hand. until her hand glitches. And in that moment, as the static judders across her fingers, you slip. And you and Pee-wee fall past this campsite, past the lake, past the trees, and right back into that same space that you recognize so often.
Marley's
Different.
yelling the princess's name as she goes.
It's tilted. Even here, you're sliding. And the grid, while it looks like you should be able to grab along the way, there's nothing to hold on to. You're just falling. And while the whole space is no longer filled with static, it's not right. It's as if you can see that static, that glitch, slowly moving across all of the lines within the space. And you keep falling and falling and falling. With nothing to grab onto, nothing to stop you. And your voice is lost almost as soon as it comes out of you, Marley. As you cry out for the princess and continue to fall farther away from her. And that is where we will end the episode for today.
Ah!
Oh.
Happy Tapestry! Join us next week for the penultimate episode. Please?
Oh my god, is it penultimate already? That feels so weird to say.
I
Yeah.
know. I know.
Oh.
Summer's almost over.
How
Oh.
dare.
Pumpkin Arcady, thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you for
Thank you so
having
much.
us.
Alice
you.
and Frank were delights.
They
Yes.
were. Before we go around, let's sort out our social links and things. We've got Discord, Twitter, and YouTube there. Go and check it all out. Join our Discord. Come and talk to us in the Tapestry chat about the Tapestry, and we'll talk to you about the Tapestry. Twitter, sign up to get a game, and YouTube, you can go and catch up on all the other things. Check out our sponsors, the Deck of Many, who make the Deck of Many things, and also the Deck of Many animated spell cards. I should keep trying to say spell slots today. Maybe I'm getting low. Maybe that's what it is. I'm like, meta magicking more in from my sorcery points or something. I don't know. Yeah, they make cards. They're really cool. Go and check them out. And also, Mage Hand Press, who make third-party content for D&D, including Dark Matter, a space system which we play on Thursdays. Let's go around and say hi to everyone. We'll go the opposite way around this time. We'll end with Renee. So, Pumpkin, hey, how you doing? How was that?
Scrat, can I interject really quickly?
Yes.
One of my favorite things to do at the end of a game, especially a game like this where we have new players hop in, is to say one thing that you liked that someone else did. So if we could do that as we go around as well, I'd really appreciate it.
Of course.
Sorry, Pumpkin.
Yeah, I'm on the spot now.
A little bit of added pressure there.
I go by Pumpkin online. Embar Garwin is my Twitch handle. And one thing, among very many things that I've enjoyed in particular, was just about every interaction Marley had with the game interface. Just so reliant upon the game interface.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Pumpkin. Next around, we have Arcady. Oh, hi.
Hello, I'm Arcady, and I go by Arcady Cosplay on pretty much every social media thing. I'm mostly active on Twitter, but you can also find me on Instagram. And I'm primarily a cosplayer, so if you want to see me dress up as fictional characters, you can follow me. And I loved that I ended up in a cryptozoology game. I'm a huge cryptozoology fan, so this was a nice surprise. And I loved all of Frank. think Frank is hilarious, and the foxes. So yeah, I just loved every little chance I got to banter with Frank. It was very, very good. The capybara versus foxes debate. It's very good.
That was peak.
Thank
that
you.
Was absolutely peak. Matt.
Oh, hey, you can find me again at Matt Hoadley on Twitter. Check out my podcast, and going to be launching that channel next week with Jordan Sanders. It's going to be a ton of fun. Renee's going to play in it. It's going to be great. And oh man, my favorite part, y'all just rolled so well with how weird Pee-wee and Marley are. Because we just come into these worlds expecting certain things, and when they don't pan out and we just flounder, y'all just rolled so well with that. Thank y'all. Thank you to both of y'all for sticking to your guns in the face of our imposing weirdness that we bring to worlds.
Look, we have a character, we're gonna stick with it. We have a schedule and activities to get done.
Right? And rules. Gotta follow the rules.
We can't get in trouble, guys.
I think that's a close second for like my favorite part as well. Like, yeah, I love the nerds thing, but my top moment was the Alice Bunny Ears home tears bit. I just thought that was a lovely little window into
I
depth
stole
of
that
character.
from my sister. She actually used to do that. She had a koala, and she would cry when she was a toddler and wipe her tears in the koala's ears. So I'm glad you liked that.
I did, and I like the little sister call out even more. That's beautiful.
Yeah. It's out of love.
I will say that my favorite part is probably tied. I loved Frank when Frank mentioned the LARP camp three camps away. That was probably my favorite moment of the whole game. That was very funny. And then also very well done, Marley, on the blue cannon surprise. That was very good, and I so appreciated how that went. I'm around on Twitter. I do writing stuff and podcasting stuff and streaming stuff, so you can find my podcast at Fate and the Fable Maidens and Edenfall, and I'm here on Mondays and Wednesdays on the Scratticus Academy, and I'll be playing at the Jam Game Streams premiere next Tuesday. So, thank you for coming. Thank you for bopping and jamming with me, and for visiting camp.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's it, everyone. Yeah.
Sorry, shout out to Platt, who did stop by in the stream.
Yes.
Adam Smith, who wrote the playset Camp Zoinks, which we played
Aww.
in today. So thanks, Cheshire Platt, for coming by, and shout outs to him for a great playset.
Thanks, Platt.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, we are going to go on a raid, so get your raid cries ready. Honestly, I personally think that a hotfoot, barefoot, Bigfoot hunt should be the raid cry, but you know, I can see Renee's face. We can go for something else if we want to.
I'm fine. That's fine. Whatever.
All right, we're doing it. I'll just knock that up quickly, and then we'll be going off. And today we're going to be raiding variant roles. You can see a few Academy folk over there. So let's go and show some support. As I punch the mic several times whilst navigating the mouse and.
That's okay. I'll be over here bopping.
You're not a true streamer until you've like punched your mic or gotten your headphones caught on something and like yanked your ear out.
Oh, I've done that so many times. Like this wire catches on the arm of my chair.
Mm-hmm.
Horrible. Yeah, let's go on a raid. Until next time, everyone, keep on evoking emotions, and we will see you next week for the penultimate episode of the Tapestry. Bye!